and backfilling.
Okay, Wes Later, would you lead us to the pledge of allegiance?
To dress rehearsal. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any public comment this morning? I don't see anybody online and there's nobody in the room, so everybody have a chance to review the minutes.
I'll make a motion to accept as written.
Moved by Commissioner Knoll.
1 second.
Seconded by Commissioner Quinn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Commissioner comments and committee reports. I'll start by just saying, on behalf of myself and the commission, wishing all of you Merry Christmas and a great holiday season. Commissioner Knoll?
That's just where my comments were going to be directed. Wishing everybody a Merry Christmas, stay safe, stay as safe as possible, and watch what you're doing with this COVID that we have. I'm sounding like a stuck record, but you know, a lot of this can be at least lessened by just simple things that we do, and just be careful.
I had a joint communications board meeting last Wednesday, and also I was able to connect with the postmaster of Atchison County, Christopher Rumbley. We had a great conversation about constituents' concerns in Atchison County, and I just wanted to share a few things that I learned from him. First of all, the man is beyond dedicated to his job, and his staff is too. They give it their all. There's no excuses for poor performance. He went through and, you know, we talked back and forth about what I've heard and what he's heard. And honestly, I had an instance that I didn't report to him, and that's what he wants. So although I could take my mail up the road to a neighbor, his suggestion is to report it because he has a process of tracking errors. They are delivering 20,000 pieces of mail every day. Their folks are putting in 50 to 100 hours a week. COVID has affected our local county mail routes. We're down drivers. When that happens, we have a similar situation that we face at our nursing home, where I use it like a correlation of agency nursing, where other postmasters from other counties place workers in our county to pick up the slack. When you're doing a job you necessarily don't want to do in that area, you have mistakes. However, I can assure you that our county postmaster and his staff is going above and beyond to make sure that packages get there. They leave with instructions and mail for the day and are told not to come back until it's all delivered. And that's a job that they do, whether it's 9 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night, they don't come back until it's delivered. So there's no guarantee on the time unless you do express mail, which is by 6 p.m. One thing that we as constituents can do to help is if you have time to get some letters at the local hardware store, you could put your name, especially rural residents, your last name or your numbers on your box. That helps them because when they're out in the rural areas, obviously it's pitch black and they're trying to do the best they can. But if there's no numbers, especially when you have 6 to 8 lined up. But he assured me he is addressing all concerns he's heard. And if you have concerns, definitely reach out to him at the post office because he's more than willing to notate them. The concerns he's gotten, the rate of error is minimal. So anyway, I was asked to follow up on that, and I feel good after the conversation I had with him because they definitely put their heart and soul in the job they're doing there, out at all weather climates, all days, times of night, so doing their job.
Okay. New business before the board. Kim Pruitt, Communications Director, Employee Wage Approval.
Good afternoon, commissioners, everybody else. I'm here to seek approval for the Joint Communications base pay increase for 2022. Anybody have any questions?
Well, somebody needs to give the details.
So I can give the details. I would like to make a motion to approve a 3% cost of living adjustment, a $15 minimum bump, leaving joint communications also with the vacant position for their 2022 budget.
Do I have a second? I'll second it for discussion purposes. Any discussion?
So the discussion I can share from our meeting is the 3% we approved last week across the board. So that is kind of a given. But the $15 bump is based on comparables. It is an increase that is needed. It's vital to the safety of our community and our constituents. And the vacant position, after listening to Sheriff Lori and Kim and all the Joint Communication Board members, that is very much needed because Tim's doing a lot of dispatching herself, and it's going to take 3 to 4 months probably to even fill that position. So again, dispatchers are critical to the safety piece of Atchison County.
So we're trying to retain qualified people.
Yes.
Or
that are already
attract if
trained
that's, or attract if necessary.
Yes.
Correct.
And
So, any other discussion? I call for a vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Passes 2-0. Sorry, 2-1. Okay, Joe Snyder.
Thank you.
I have a purchase order for Wagner Excavating on Reagan Backfilling on Bridge 520, which is on 310th Road, just west of Pratt, right north of town, in the amount of $15,207.50.
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 3-0. Okay, we have a request to join the Kansas League of Municipalities. It's for $926.17. Have a motion to approve.
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
I'll second it. Further discussion?
I would like to just explain that we have the money in our budget as a commission to join this group. We have not been members in the past. However, after looking at counties that are members, Jefferson, Jackson, Brown, Marshall. I talked to Brown County Commissioner this morning, who gave me some reasoning behind why it's helpful for them, some of the publications and the pieces that they look at. After doing further, I think it will be also a benefit to HR and our finance director and then clerk also, just from looking at what they have to offer. But with any subscription or any, I think we need to kind of review at the end of the year, what we got from it. Because I know that that's been the discussion even with K.A.C. and NACO is like, is this worth it? And then really look at your ROI on because we are members of several things, and just know, and making sure that our staff also knows that they're a resource, even though we're joining in this meeting, that they know that their tools are out there for them for training and all the different events.
They have considerably more abilities than Kansas Association of Counties, but it is a municipality, which we are. The county government is considered a municipality. It's mostly focused on cities. So we got to make sure we use it. It's worth our time and ability.
Well, that's what I needed to dig into, is how counties can benefit from it, because just as a new commissioner, anytime I hear League of Municipalities, I think of City of Atchison, and that's a good resource for them in every discussion, but like, after looking into it further of our surrounding counties that are utilizing it and why, I think it would be worth trying, because networking and relationship building is obviously, it's good for all facets, so.
I think that we probably don't utilize the organizations that we already belong to, and I think it's redundant to join another organization providing basically a lot of the same functions when we don't utilize what we already have. So I'm against it.
For K.A.C, my personal experience was, I think it's $400 and some a year for K.A.C, but that was beyond paid for my first week elected as a commissioner, with all the training that I received and networking and just listening to the classes put on from other commissioners. And then the K.A.C conference was beyond useful. So that was definitely awesome. NACO, I joined Kim and Joe on a conference call with Mrs. Jennings from NACO on infrastructure funding, and she sent us a plethora of info. So again, I mean, when you look at the grant, and those are just my off the top of my head firsthand examples of benefit. But again, I think we need to also look, if we're going to be reviewing these, is talk to our department heads of how they use them, because I didn't realize that K.A.C, when we're discussing that, I mean, several department heads in the county are using it for their benefit, so. But those are just my personal
Well,
experiences with those two.
Obviously, to Commissioner Hill's point, we got everything we put into it. I've been involved with the league myself personally, in different matters, and I think I have a lot of faith in what they can do. But again, I think that any kind of results we get from it needs to be measurable and definable, and that's an important thing. So a year from now, we can have a good conversation if we pass this. So any more discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Passes 2-1. Okay, resolution for code of conduct, that'll be for next week. Old unfinished business before the board. I don't think we have any county councilor updates.
I don't have anything.
Okay, executive session, we have an executive session.
Yes, for attorney-client. I will move that the Board of County Commissioners recess into executive session at 1:13 p.m. for consultation with an attorney for the public body, which would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship as allowed by K.S.A. 75-4319B2, and that the purpose of the closed session is to protect the confidentiality of the discussion, and that the board come out of executive session at 1:24 p.m. on the Zoom platform and at the Emergency Operations Center, 10443 U.S. Highway 59. And those present will be the three commissioners and Pat Henderson, County Councilor.
I'll second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
You can go into executive session. Okay, we're back from executive session. Any public comment? I don't see any public people. No public comment. Chair would entertain a motion to adjourn at 1:25 p.m.
So move.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
That doesn't count. You said it after you adjourned.